Palestinian terrorists. If there are no innocents in Gaza, then there is no reason for the knock on the roof.
Still, I will say that with all of what you said, please finish what I'm saying.
Finish what you're saying. No, say that again.
Yeah, I'll say it again. Yeah, all of the moderators were rationalizing away the shitty things that people have said.
No, let him. Please let him. It helps me.
No, let dude finish.
No, let McZed finish.
I know. I was talking. Okay. Yeah. Listen, and I was trying to interrupt before to give this by way of illustration. That is still not a direct call to violence. Here's an example of a direct call. Look, MK, I'm trying to
Sorry,
educate.
Man, I don't mean to laugh.
Okay, I'm just trying to tell you. Here's what it looks like for a direct call of violence. Anyone listening now, punch the person nearest to you. Right? That is an instruction that, if taken literally by anyone, will result in injury. That is a direct call to immediate, imminent violence.
No, but
if I say, and I'm not saying this, I just want to be clear. If I say all the Palestinians are garbage, mud people that deserve to be boiled up in bladder or something, right? Yeah. If I just say that, they deserve to be. That's what they are. I have not instructed anyone to actually boil them in a bladder. I've said that this is what they are, this is how they belong. If I say instead, now, because the Palestinians are evil mud people that deserve to be boiled up in a pot, go find the nearest Palestinian person and boil them in a pot. Now it's a call to action. Do you understand?
Yeah. So I'm assuming as well, McZed, that you also believe that during Nazi Germany, the many statements given by the Nazi Party in regards to how the Jews are in terms of their, being money hungry, stingy, can't be trusted, dirty individuals, that's also okay to you as well?
What about what I said?
Okay.
Wait, just answer my question.
I have a question.
Okay, MK, no, because you're
Guys, stop. Please stop. MK, I have a question for you.
I have a question for you.
I know. I'm trying to answer your question.
Okay.
What about what I just said about direct calls to violence implied to you that I was okay with the propaganda proliferated in Nazi Germany?
No, but I'm asking you a question. That type of propaganda, where does it lead to?
Genocide.
Thank you very much.
Why?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Okay, MK, this is what you're not allowed.
No, Mayor.
And dude also.
Look, I've got no disrespect to you guys. Let me just make it clear.
MK.
I'm just trying to have a back and forth.
MK.
And
I know. I'm trying to talk.
I'm not saying that what they did is okay. You keep using what they're
saying.
okay.
Wonderful.
But can you guys see from my perspective how what you're saying sounds a bit ridiculous to me?
Okay. No, give me a minute.
What?
Okay.
What?
If I were to go and give you the quotes coming out of Arab media, it would sound even worse. The question I know on the table is not, do I agree with it? Do I like it?
I know you guys don't agree with it.
Guys,
the question is it hypocritical that Al Jazeera got shut down and not Channel 14? And I'm trying to show you that there's a difference here. Now, I think Channel 14 should be boycotted, and this should not be platformed anymore. It's very different than saying it should be governmentally shut down.
It shouldn't be platformed. Great, you don't like the channel. MK, what about my description of the legal standard of a call to violence makes you laugh at the idea that I am opposed to the propaganda of the Nazis?
Okay, I'm going to make it clear to you.
Yeah.
Call to violence. Okay, I read the quote to you word for word. Okay, the quote itself isn't talking about.
We're not talking about the quote.
Listen, it's not talking about.
We're not talking about the quote.
What are you talking about?
Okay, good. Remember, I wanted to illustrate, and I gave you an example of
someone punch the person next to you. Yes.
Right, and then when you said your follow up was. So then that's like the Nazis in Germany, and you would support that press as well. And I said, no, and you started to laugh, and I'm trying to understand.
Yes. Okay. The reason is, it's the assumption that you have that it's only direct quotes to violence, like, for example, punch the person next to you that can be dangerous, and you're not recognizing that.
That's not what I'm
incitement
saying.
Towards hatred. Right, wait, one second. Incitement towards hatred leads to, and especially propaganda that is based on lies, leads to a population thinking, distrusting, or considering another group of people as the enemy to them, that therefore leads to violence.
Yes,
against those people.
correct.
That is
Now-
what happened in Nazi Germany.
Yes.
That's
yes.
what happened in Rwanda.
MK.
That's what's happening in many countries.
Okay, you get it out of your system. Okay.
Yes.
MK.
Yeah.
You have to understand the legal principles being used. No one is identifying good or bad speech. That is the nature of a free speech realm. What we are identifying is certain types of speech that are prohibited under the free speech realm. It's not a bad speech. What if I say, go punch a murderer right now? That is a direct call to action and violence. But we would also consider it somewhat justified based upon the particulars. Which is to say, it's a category of speech within our free speech regime that is prohibited, which is the answer to your question.
Hate speech. Yes, hate speech.
MK, that's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Yes.
You're asking, why don't we restrict the hate speech of the Nazis in our restriction of direct calls to violence?
Yes.
You're asking, why is the free speech this way versus the other way? Why don't we stop people from saying anything hateful? And the answer is roughly, that's not free speech.
Well, you've kind of strawmanned me slightly, and I'll tell you
Yeah,
why.
because there's no other way. What if I want to say
I'll
I hate you?
I'll tell you what.
Can I say I hate you?
Because you.
Am I allowed to say that I hate you?
No.
1 second. I just want to say that, to be honest, right now I'm like agnostic and I'm like listening to the two sides and I'm like literally thinking about it right now.
Okay, so Brody,
What do you think, Rudy? I actually want to hear what Rudy thinks.
1 second. So, as far as I understood, America has like a very liberal notion of the free speech, meaning that only particular instructions of violence would be deemed as not free speech, but literally calls for violence. Is there like any other category?
Well, yeah.
Like, for example,
it wouldn't be part of
for example, people can say, for example, Hitler was right.
No,
Right.
yeah, that would be fine, but libel would be illegal. Like if I printed an article saying that you murdered your neighbor, that would be libel. There are other categories.
Only if it's false.
Libel and false.
So it has to be explicit instruction. Basically, what we're saying is it has to be.
It's for a call to action. None of you guys understand these laws.
Right. So
That's
basically, what you're saying is.
call for violence. As in,
So what you're
libel
saying
is a
is
different
you
category.
can. Yeah.
Look, if Megzed made like a good point in my opinion, although I do think that speech should be in some sense restricted, this is not what is mandated under the freedom of speech. It's like going a little bit against
Okay, so
freedom of
Brody,
speech.
let me ask you
Right,
something.
freedom of speech would probably allow a lot of things that I personally would consider propagandist and incitements to violence, and probably the forefront of genocide. But the free speech realm that we exist in, where we allow people to say and publish anything, which we kind of need in the current landscape, in that situation, we restrict based on a type. Right? So
So Brody, let me ask you this. Do you think that Israeli media should have censored Nasrallah's speech? Now, that was definitely a hateful, violent call for every Yahud. Do you think it should have been banned from the airwaves?
I'm not entirely sure.
A little bit.
Just to be clear, I'm literally just like thinking about this right now. I didn't like.
Guys, I have to go now. I've got a meeting.
So, MK, let me leave you with that. Let me leave you with that.
No, I literally have to go. Like, literally, I'm
We
getting
don't
fired.
care.
Yeah, I'm gonna get fired. But listen, if you want to have a conversation some other time, Exed or Mayor or anyone else, Brody, feel free to just let me know.
Okay, so Roddy, the thing is, like, I don't agree with what that guy is saying, and I do think that, like, that shouldn't be aired publicly. That feels kind of libelous to have a guy on and then he says we should wipe out all the Gazans. No, every Palestinian is an enemy. I don't think that should be on the airwaves, me personally. Like, if I were a regulatory body, I would...
Was he a state actor? Or who was it?
No, it was a singer. It was a singer. It wasn't a state actor at all.
No, but it's Channel 14 and they were interviewing someone and that's what the
They were
person...
interviewing a singer. He gave a dumb opinion.
A lot of those people are not state actors. But just to be clear,
Brody, listen to my point. I think emphatically that when Nasrallah did his news, it should be aired. We should be aware of what's going on. Now that speech, although the interpreter said Zionist, he said Yahud. So he said every Jew should be killed. I would not restrict that speech. And once I'm not restricting that speech, how are you going to choose which speech? Like, who's going to be the arbitrator
I
to say?
disagree with you then, too. I would restrict that guy's speech, too. Like, why would you not restrict that guy's speech?
I already said why. Because it's Nasrallah. We should be aware what he's calling. We should note what he's telling Hezbollah fighters to do, and it's news, and it should not be hidden from us. I'm glad that
You're saying put it on the public airwaves. You're not the only one that gets to see it. All the people.
Let me speak for 1 second. I know that you're like super. You want to respond to everything, but Mayor also, first of all, he was referring to me. So let me just like respond. Mayor, it really depends. Like if you're like talking just like in my opinion, which is like provisional. It's not a strong opinion. You can convince me otherwise. But I think at the very least, if a particular type of speech in a particular type of platform, right, is and can be also proved, right, in some sense, that it made a particular group of people violent towards other people, right? Then one can say that is justifiably, you can justify it in those types of speeches. Even if it is not
Nasrallah.
No, I wouldn't, because in this case, under specific conditions, if, right, there is evidence that within Israel, for example, Arabs listen to that speech, right, and in that Arabs of Israel in that speech were
Incited to violence.
No, it's not incited. I'm looking for a different word. Inspired by that speech, and you can, for example, see that in, like manifestos or by testimonies in interrogations and stuff like that. I actually think that it should be not aired in Israel, just to be clear.
Okay, so first of all, I completely disagree with you. It's news that should not be kept civilian. Okay, but I have another problem with that. The way you set this up, it is so arbitrary that every judge has to figure it out for their own. Now, I'm not saying Israel would do this, and definitely not the court system. But what Israel could do in such a law is they could say, what Feigelin said is a call to violence for Jews. Jews would never kill their neighbors, so don't worry about it. That's not that wouldn't inspire anybody. But what Nasrallah said, those guys, I mean, you realize how, like, once you start giving the government the right to say, this is incitement, this is not, based on, I know you said the manifestos, but you can hand wave away manifestos, you can read into manifestos. You're giving the government so much power to arbitrarily decide whose speech is dangerous and whose is not. It's really not a good. I mean, even if this generation is fine, it's not going to be healthy in the long run.
Don't think what was arbitrary about what I was saying? Wait, one second. I was giving you specifics, right, of conditions. Conditions are literally the opposite of arbitrary. Arbitrary are without conditions or without principles.
But you said inspired. How do you know what's inspired?
Yeah, well, again, as I said before, one can have a particular dialogue in regards to the quality, right, of the evidence of what is considered as inspired or what is considered incidental or stuff like that, right? But if, for example, just like for the sake of the story, for the sake of the argument, one can have evidence that show beyond the reasonable doubt that a specific speech, right, that was radical and inspired, right, a particular group of people to do violence, right, such as speech that demonized a particular group of people and so on and so forth, right, I think that shouldn't be aired.
Okay, but I think this is too broad.
This is not a strong position that I have.
I get it. That's why I'm trying to convince you otherwise. If I get up and I give a very passionate, strong speech against abortion, okay? Again, not my position. I give a very strong, passionate speech, and I say abortion is murder, and any woman that goes to abortion, blah, 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 blah. And then someone gets inspired from that speech and they bomb an abortion clinic. Because if you take that to a logical conclusion, if they're murdering people, you should bomb that clinic. Can I go to prison? I'm like, I never told anyone to bomb a clinic. I just said don't have an abortion. Like, they were inspired by my words to kill people.
No, I think the question is whether or not it is supposed to be aired, not whether or not you cannot just say that in general.
It's about publicizing it, not can
Okay,
you
so
say
now you should not. So should I not publicize anti-abortion? Should I not publicize climate advocates because they might go like burn down a oil refinery?
No, absolutely not. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that specifically if. I also put up like a different type of a condition. which is like a radical radical speech that demonizes a particular group of people, right? Again, particular group of people doesn't include like organizations, but it can include such as like political positions or nationalities, ethnicities, so on and so forth, right? Those things can be, cashed out. You are saying, but no, I don't think they can, because you can always show me some type of a counterfactual that will not allow it. That doesn't make any sense, right? Is that what you're
Right, and I want to err on the side of allowing.
Maybe you're correct.
Maybe you're correct. Maybe like with more like analysis, this is why I'm saying it, like it's not a strong position. Maybe with more analysis and me not being able to give you like additional criterions, right? I would say, you know what? I don't think there can be non-arbitrarily.
Right, I'm gonna have to go also, but I don't know if I have to say this again. It's not that I think it's okay. I just don't think it's legal. It's a very big difference. I would like boycott Sean, talk against these people. This is not like someone accused me of like whitewashing these statements. I'm not at all. I'm just saying there's a tremendous difference between shutting down the station and just saying this is a station. Like I don't read. I read Arutz Sheva, which is slanted, very slanted, but I feel like I can see through it. I don't read Channel 14 because I think they're way too slanted. I don't read Haaretz either because I think they're way too slanted.
Yeah, publicizing is the trick. That's why libel has always been different than slander. Slander was considered ephemeral. Libel is eternal.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I don't like my intuitions that freedom of speech can be like monitored in a particular way that I wouldn't have any problem. In the same way, for example, in the UAE and in Saudi Arabia, there is a particular prohibition of saying particular stuff that reduced the number that I think showed actually that reduced the number of attacks against minorities within those countries.
Right.
By the way, they don't happen, for example, in European countries in the mosques. And I'm saying, actually, I don't have any problem. Like, if it can be shown that in virtue of this type of a limitation on freedom of speech,
Yep.
or limitation, actually, I wouldn't say freedom of speech, limitation on speech, right? Give this type of an outcome, I actually said, yeah, okay, I would actually in agreement.
But you gotta understand, I think you would agree and intuit how dangerous and very slippery a slope it is. Like, if we restricted this speech, everyone was happier, so let's get rid of this demagogue type guy because some people like him, but he makes everyone uncomfortable, Yeah,
absolutely. I agree with you. I agree with you. I think I think there should be some type of a balance from like expressing ideas, right? No matter how radical they are, and the specific inspirations that people can take from those ideas.
exactly. Roddy, and you're right. Your intuition is exactly the line we currently have between speech, which is any idea and you're free to discuss freely with everyone, and action, which you may not use your speech to encourage, and that's exactly the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the obvious, right? The obvious principle that instructions to violence should be banned. I agree with that. But this is like one obvious. The less obvious are demonizing speech that are radical.
I was researching this concept. I think Goebbels kind of like perfected it, and they studied it afterwards. It's called accusation in a mirror, or accusation. I think of it as accusation to a mirror. It's basically a propaganda technique where you accuse your opponent of engaging in the type of activity you are intending to engage in, right? Accusation at a mirror. It's considered good and bad. Bad in that it very clearly reveals to your opponent what you're engaged in, but good in that it is the most effective form of propaganda. You literally just accuse people of something horrible you want to do to them, and then everyone gets afraid that they're trying to do that to you, and they support you in hurting them. Which is why, the reason I brought this up was I was researching genocide and the Genocide Gaza Wikipedia article, which is intense and long. and they were referencing different concepts of genocide. And there is some discussion about genocidal propaganda. Because every genocide starts with this kind of propaganda regime where we make everyone understand that these people are less than and should be put down, or that they're dangerous and plotting against us.
So this is something that is also super interesting because I want to see like case studies of war, right, between countries that are neighboring each other and see what is the mainstream rhetoric in those wars in the two populations or in the two
Right.
countries.
Right. It's a good.
And to see if there is like a meaningful difference between the two, so on and so forth. Right. That would be an analysis that I would gladly read. Right. But I don't. But from what I have seen, right, from legal experts that literally are just like ignoramus people. By ignoramus, I would say that they omit so many facts that don't go along with their agenda, right? I think they are like literally not even worth considering. I went through this article. I went, for example, for I think the first and the second source, and it's like UN experts say, right? And I was reading that, and they said Israel bombed schools, mosques, places of worships, hospitals, and so on and so forth. They didn't give any addition to what is the Israeli claims for why they are doing that. And the obvious reason that Hamas uses all of those infrastructure, not just that they are hiding within it, just literally using their installations inside of all of those stuff. No mention of that. And I think this type of an omission makes the report itself just not valuable. And this is what I see again and again and again in a lot of different reports.
So, Brody, at this point, if you woke up tomorrow and saw that Channel 14 was shut down, you would not be like upset or surprised?
No, to be honest, I think Channel 14 is like, first of all, I don't think it's literally a news media. Secondly, I don't give a shit about
Can you explain what Channel 14 is?
It's right-wing media. It's like Israel Fox News.
It's a right-wing media.
Thank
You
you.
can't say Fox News.
Most of it concentrated in opinion. Most of it concentrated in opinion pieces and panels that people can speak, including experts that have like very radical positions. Those are like the main publications they have.
Got it. Thank you.
And it's way more radical than Fox. It's like,
they're like super radical in my
Yeah, look, there is no bias.
Marvin, to give you an example of Channel 14, last year during the protest, there was a news person who was interviewing people, and it was a religious woman who was protesting government. The news anchor asked her why she was protesting, and she gave him a list of reasons. And he told her that she didn't know why she was protesting, and that she never actually read anything about it. So that's the type of quote-unquote news Channel 14.
Yeah. Look, Marvin, you're not getting the full picture here. Okay, there is no media in Israel that doesn't have a significant bias. It is significant bias across the entire Israeli media. There is a whole section of the Israeli media that blames absolutely everything in the country on Netanyahu. They are out to get him. There's no doubt that the right-wing media also has its bias, but what you're getting here from the examples from people is not the full story. There are tons of videos out there about people at the protests who can't articulate their positions. It's not so different than what we've seen in other countries, right? That doesn't mean that there aren't people there who can articulate their positions, but it's a little bit more complicated than you're being led to believe here. There is this constant among the left-wing media that Netanyahu is trying to play. But then they ignore all of the politics that the other politicians are trying to play, as if they aren't capable of such a thing. And there has been a years-long sort of campaign to delegitimize Netanyahu with his court cases, and it turns out that when you dig into the details of these court cases, they're entirely bullshit. There's massive prosecutorial misconduct, there's a lot of misinformation around that as well. It's not as cut and dry as some of these people on the platform here are having you believe.
I absolutely not really sure what you're responding to. We know that there's bias right wing. I read bias right wing all the time, and we know there's bias left wing. This is a special kind of bias. They don't typically report news. They bring in extremists on the panel. If you're trying to say that,
I'm sorry. You get a similar kind of extremism from Times of Israel on certain issues. You get a similar kind of extremism elsewhere in the Israeli media as well. There are extremely popular columnists in the media who have an extreme bias, and they have the same problem. We have the same problem in Israel as we have in the U.S., where the journalists believe that they have a right to tell people what to think. And if you are choosing. You are choosing to believe that this isn't true because you think that you can trust them, and I'm telling you, you fucking can't.
You're making a mistake. You're making.
No, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay, Daniel. You don't know my position. I read Arutz Sheva because I agree with them. I don't read their opinions because they're ridiculously optimistic. But I read Arutz Sheva because I agree with them. I am part of the right wing. I have no problem saying that very proudly. People on the stage won't agree with me if we get into opinions. My point here is I don't read Haaretz either because they are ridiculously left-wing. But the Jews Law Post and Times of Israel are much more, they own their biases. So Israel, I think, does a better job than the United States because they don't pretend to be fair and balanced. They don't tell you news that fits the print. They don't pretend to be news. They tell you very clearly where the biases lie. And if you read a few of them, you get a very good picture. And I actually like that model a whole lot better. I don't mind reading propaganda for the Republican Party. Just tell me your propaganda for the Republican Party and let me hear your side of the opinion. I'm fine with that. And now I'll go read the Democrat Party's propaganda. That's all good. Arutz Arba Esrei is a special kind of extreme. They don't fit into this paradigm of Yediot Achronot and Haaretz and Arutz Sheva and the other one. They're special.
In my position on Arutz Arba Esrei 14 is that a news anchor went to the streets to ask people about their opinions, and when they gave their opinions and told them in detail why they felt the way they felt, the news anchor took it upon himself to lambast the person that he was interviewing and tell them that they didn't know what they were talking about. Like that, if you're going to be a journalist, if you're going to call yourself a journalist and be a journalist, you're supposed to also not be biased. If they were to say that they were propaganda, that's fine, but they're trying to report the news, but tell people how they feel and what they think, and not just reporting it.
Which is exactly what the Israeli left-wing media does. You can choose to think that is clearly.
He asked about Arutz Arba Esrei. That's what he said.
I understand, I understand.
I don't read, and I don't read.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying you are. I'm saying it's important for people to know that that it's not just Channel 14. It's basically the entire Israeli media. That being said, there are some specific individuals who I think do a really good job of trying to, explain what's going on in Israel. One of them, his name is Gadi Taub, and another one, oh God, what's his name? I'll look up his name. I forgot his name. No.
You're talking about Mordechai Kedar.
No, but I really like Mordechai Kedar, but Mordechai Kedar is not really a journalist. The person I'm thinking of is...
Not also not a journalist.
Yes, he is. Of course he's Gadi Taub is a journalist. The other person I'm thinking of is Haviv Red Gur, who I think is probably one of the best people in the country to explain a lot of things about what are happening in Israel. I don't think he's 100% right, but I think he's honest, right? But I'm just saying it's tough. It's tougher than you think that it is to get the information that is real. There is a similar divisiveness in Israel between the left and right among the political factions, and most of them, are deeply ideological, and it's very hard because these are very well-meaning people And if they actually talked to the people they disagree with, they'd realize that they agree on like 95% of everything, and there's like 5% of issues that divide them. It's in fact far people in Israel. In actuality, there was this really amazing study done by the Jerusalem People's Institute, which actually measured people's attitudes on a whole range of issues. And Americans are far more divided than Israelis, but there is a divisiveness created by the Israeli media, which I think really pits people against each other. It's not in that way. It's not so different.
Just to be clear, I agree. I actually agree with you. Just to be clear, Gadi Taub, I don't know if he has like journalistic. What you call it? Credentials. I looked up. He has that, but I, as far as I remember, he is like a historian and he's also a commentator. So, like all of those, you might think those will allow him to be a journalist, you know, de facto. But okay, that's fine. Maybe he has like a journalistic. Again, exactly.
He used to work at Haaretz. He was a columnist at Haaretz, and then he left Haaretz because Haaretz is insane. And I realized that they were insane.
I have listened probably to all of Gadi Taub's what he was saying. He is like a very right winger compared like to a lot of other historians. But I think
he's right wing now, but he started out as left wing, and he moved away from it when he realized that it wasn't about facts, and so now he interprets it through a different lens.
I'm very familiar with Gadi Taub again, but him being a columnist doesn't mean that he's a journalist. Just to be clear, look, this is like not that relevant whether or not he's a journalist or not, to be honest. And I agree with you. There are a lot of problems with Haaretz. I think they should there should be something that there should be God damn it! For some reason I forgot the English language. Forget. I'll just continue.
Роди, скажи по-русски, мы поможем.
По-русски почему? Что ты хотел сказать? Кто? You're cutting out, Andrei.
I was saying that, just say it in Russian if you forget something. We can find the English.
I don't think it will help.
Так Андрей тебе поможет перевести, он говорит.
Я все понял, но я тоже забыл как-то сказать по-русски.
So, Roddy had a multilingual amnesia.
Yeah, we need translator configure.
Я знаю, как это сказать по-иврите, но не по-русски. И никто здесь не знает иврит. Я думаю, может быть, смеет знать немножко. Умеет говорить. Sorry, go back to English.
Sorry.
Multilingual amnesia. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good question where to restrict free speech or publication.
Yeah.
It is.
I got to hand it to
Some of
MK.
the best legal theories are in discussing free speech.
I got to hand it to MK. He didn't come with a stupid argument or prove to me they did that. He tried to bring hypocrisy and it definitely was a much higher quality conversation over this.
The real issue with Al Jazeera is that it's government-owned entity, and it's owned by a foreign power which is hostile to Israel, and I'm not sure that this even comes into the same level of issue. There is something to be said for the fact that foreign powers engage in information operations against their enemies, and we restrict foreign entities from spending money in other countries when they are enemy nations. Or create trade restrictions. There's nothing that says that we should allow a foreign media entity owned by the government to, be allowed to participate in the conversation. It's not, it is. Al Jazeera, first of all, is the terrorist news network, right? There are people affiliated with Al Jazeera who are affiliated with terrorism. It is not a traditional media organization at all. You want to make the argument that somehow, you slap the label onto yourself and call yourself a journalist. That makes you a journalist. I do not think that that's true, and I don't think the normal rules apply here. There are a variety of individuals in the U.S. military who believe that such information operations make you a combatant, and if that is the case, there's no reason that they should be allowed to operate unrestricted.
Well,
I think combatant is a strong word. Combatant, though? What happened to proportionate force? If you sitting here collecting data, that don't make you a man wielding a gun. I think that's a bit much.
So there is, there's a very important paragraph from the judgment when it's talking about democracy and that the protection of free speech and the rights is not an invitation to dismantle the very system that protects those rights and oversees them. I think that was a very important point.
Isn't it amazing though?
It's a funny balance when you gotta restrict freedom as much as necessary to protect freedom. But it's true.
But that's that's the whole discussion we had with Simon, I think a week ago or so. It's the very important.
A week ago, yesterday, a month ago, I'm sure. Yeah.
It's all the same conversation. Yeah, but it's a very minute but important and almost essential to understand the difference between freedom and liberty. Those two concepts, they do have
What's the distinction between the two?
The freedom is unopposed ability to do whatever you desire, and liberty, it has limitation based on the rights of others, and you basically are in a bubble, and the bubble starts and begins where the bubble of the other people and their rights.
So I get it. Liberty has parameters, freedom doesn't. But freedom is an illusion in the end. Because I want to fly right now. I want to just spread my arms and fucking levitate. But
But you're constrained by physics, exactly. So that's liberty is.
But even freedom is just like right. It's pretty much liberty.
It's not. I mean, they are used interchangeably, but there is a fundamental difference between the two. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Is that like in a legal setting, or is it just like regular language?
No, it's a semantic.
Okay, no doubt.
Anti-Semitic.
Otherwise, that would be the same word, right? There would be no need for liberty and freedom having two different words to express the same thing. That would be tautology, and language is fairly efficient.
Nah, that's not true. It's a whole.
That is very true.
Am I bugging? It's a bunch of words out there that mean the exact same thing, and they just different words.
Like what?
Big, large, enormous.
Fear and scared. Fear and scared.
Once again, language has.
You can say scared is synonymous with afraid.
Yeah, scared and afraid. Yeah, fear is a totally different word.
Yeah.
It's a different grammatical structure. But you're right, they've come from different words. Fear and scare. And being scared is also the same as being afraid. But scare is something you do to someone, and fear is something you feel internally. So you can see how this
scare
kind of
is a concept.
No, you can say I'm scared. You don't necessarily have to do that.
You can say I'm
Right.
scared.
Why do you say I am scared? It's saying scare happened to my state of being. I am scared in the past. Afraid is a state of being different, right? Scared. Because scare, the root of scare is a verb, scare, right? To scare. Whereas the root of afraid is fear, a noun, right? So I can have a noun applied to me. I am noun fear on me afraid, or I can say that something was done to me. I have been attacked by scare. I am now scared.
Okay,
So-
wait,
so
are we denying the fact that are we denying the fact that there are synonyms in language?
Right,
Yes.
right. No,
Yes,
we
we
deny-
are.
No. We deny the fact that words have meaning, and they have subtle differences.
Andrew,
that
you
will,
can't deny a fact.
Right, but those little
that will
differences
justify.
are no
Oh, can you
longer
finish,
definitions.
please? That justify their existence, because it did not have those subtle differences, like scared and afraid. This is actually a great exercise for GPT. Let's see what it says. It refers to
Yeah,
more
like you
immediate,
did.
intense emotional response to specific threat.
The better one that is like known.
Well,
the better one that is.
Can refer to more general, longer-lasting feeling of fear. So yeah, you can use them interchangeably. They're synonymous, but they do have subtle differences. That's why they exist. Otherwise, one of them would be.
Meaning that they are not synonymous. Synonyms just means two different words that have the same meaning. 1 second.
I know, Roger, what synonym
I know that you
means.
know, but
like
if you-
my whole premise is if you did.
1 second.
If you didn't hear what.
1 second. I wasn't interrupting you. Other people interrupted you. I'm saying that you could give for example, different types of synonyms. I think the known one is teacher and educator. Right. That's like one that I'm familiar with that are like supposed to be synonyms.
Yeah, like trying to explain the difference
Okay.
between them two. It's not working.
What I'm saying that there are no two words that mean exactly the same thing. Because if they meant exactly the same thing, one would be preferred over the other, and the other would, be
So,
some sort of.
Let me ask you a question. Would you say that about the words happy and gay?
What do you mean? That they're different? Yeah, they're very much.
How? Doesn't both mean the same thing in terms of state?
Andre, the original meaning of gay is happy.
No, that's the predicate
Yes.
No,
as well.
Yes.
but it fell out of use
Just-
because of
you-
what Andrea is saying. People don't typically use gay anymore.
Yeah, exactly. This is what the original meaning of it is happy.
I use gays.
Yeah. No, maybe Andre can be correct, not in regards to the meaning, but in regards to connotation.
Okay, so gay and happy. Happy refers to state of joy, contempt, and pleasure. While gay, let's see. It means more carefree. Happy, joyful, and especially carefree. So there is a subtle difference. That's why the words exist. That's why the language is so rich, and you can express whatever feeling you have. There are no
You know, in
words that
Hebrew,
mean exactly the same.
You say alis for gay, which also means gay. Like it means both meanings as in English.
I think
But this
Kind of try.
Yeah,
is is
the
gay
famous.
is gay synonymous with homosexual?
Alis, yes. And it's also about joyful and being happy. What?
Wait, then it also means that
I'm
Andre,
so happy.
So happy.
Andre, this also means that if terms.
Yay!
It's not
And
happy.
I'm pretty. Every girl.
Oh,
that
it's
is
pretty. I am pretty. I feel pretty.
Oh,
so
pretty,
pretty
yes.
and witty
Also
and
pretty.
gay.
Yeah.
Wait, wouldn't that also entails that all different words have different meanings? Wouldn't that entail something about translations, that one cannot just translate
Yes.
all
You
the
can't.
meanings correctly from one language to another?
Perfectly no.
Cannot be
Perfectly no. Perfectly no. But you see, this is I think this is the pitfall of relativism. Just because you cannot do it perfectly, exactly one-to-one correlation, and we have map to landscape, doesn't necessarily mean that we're living behind some kind of epistemic barricade and we're incapable of understanding.
That's not the direction that I wanted to move towards.
Oh,
Well, some original connection may be lost, and actually you can also gain a new connection that you didn't have in one language that will have in a different language.
Brody, think of it this way. If I try to translate a concept, that's relatively easy because using different words doesn't change it. If you try to
translate a poem, it completely loses its interest. So
Right.
the more specific the words are meant to be, the worse they translate. I can rewrite the concept, and the more true the writer is to the exact translations, the choppier it reads. If they rewrite it in their own words, it reads better.
Yeah, there is also like a phonetic
Right.
phonetic importance to the sounds. So, for example, in Hebrew, they translated at first to be or not to be as to say liyot or lo liyot. But the problem is that the phonetics just sounds different. So someone else proposed something a little bit more biblical to say yehi or bar yehi, which basically means the same thing. Just for it to phonetically also sound similar to the original.
It doesn't work. It doesn't have the poetry of it. Like to be or not to be is beautiful, and it's simple, and it's thoroughly English. You can translate it as much as you want. You're not going to get it unless you're looking at it in English.
Y'all play chess by any chance?
Yeah.
Who trying to play online? Anybody?
Yeah. For basis.
Yeah, but I think like terms such as. But I think the terms that are commonly used, such as I, yes, we, building, chair, those are like having like a direct translations into all languages, right?
Yeah, but what you say, for example,
you're talking about like things that are describing objective reality, right?
Because like in order to engage
it's not that deep. Forget about objective reality speeches and stuff. I'm saying like just in general, when we think about translating specific words, I'm not talking about the entire sentences. That might be arguable, but specific word, literal translatable, right? Like yes, da, ken, aywa, I, ani, ya, right?
Sure, right.
But that's the distinction, like, because as soon as we get into the conceptual stuff, like happiness or a truth,
Or exactly.
then things start getting a little muddy because there's a certain history. Yeah, so there's certain history to like etymology, and so it comes with a baggage of other meanings.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Synonyms exist within the definition, but every word is always independent because they have their own origins. They all have histories to them, like fear leading to afraid and scare leading to scared. Different etymological origins, but they meet at the meaning in certain places.
There's also like the idea of like
like syntax. I remember once upon a time, somebody used an example, like in New York. We'll say, what type of time you want? Like, that's basically, just asking, like, what's up? Like, what are your intentions? Do you plan on being violent?
That's an idiom. That's not a translation.
No, but all of that is part of it.
Right, but I was explaining
context. Universal translation.
So, like, if somebody took those words,
words are not
let's say an alien race, don't make that. Stop fucking hitting me, bro. What's up with you, bro? All right, thank you, Kenny.
What's up with you, bro?
Let's say it's not what's up with me, what's up with him. So let's say an alien race came down to, Earth and read my text messages, and I was asking my friend, like, yo, what type of time you want? And they tried to do a literal translation. They might interpret that as me asking him, like, Eastern time or, Central time. Y'all get what I'm saying?
Yes, most language is not literal. That's an idiot. That's very different than what we were talking about. We're talking about translating one word to the other. The word is meant to mean what it means.
But that's why I'm saying, because of the existence of idioms that he's referencing and other uses of language, you cannot translate, because translation or interpretation requires a fixed meaning to translate into another fixed meaning. But all of the meanings are loose and amorphous. We will change the words blue, green, happy, brown, chair. They all change subtly through use.
Oh, actually, I want to talk about something related, but not the same topic. One of the most interesting things is to interpret current style of speeches in slang. So, for example, how would you interpret "let him cook"?
How do you say that in another language?
I would say allow.
No. Even in English, how would you interpret "let him cook"? This is like a known phrase. When someone is talking and he's like, articulate and giving like good arguments, and someone tries to interrupt him, someone else tell him, "Let him cook."
You say, how would you say it in another way? You would say, let him.
You'd say let him finish.
Yeah, let him.
Yeah.
Well, not just
Yeah,
finish.
but
let him.
One mic. This is what you.
No, you would say, let him formulate his thoughts.
No, but
Let
this is
him out.
No, Rodney's right. There's more to it. It's encouragement. I kind of agree with him. I'm endorsing him, but it's hard to convey that quickly. I can't just say, let him finish, don't interrupt. I want to say, don't interrupt. This guy's getting somewhere good. I want to see where the ending is, but that's too long.
Right, exactly. Right, but it's like, let it formulate, let the thoughts come out. Like, I want to hear this evolve.
yeah, but there is more than just that, right? It's like the idea.
It's an idiom. You
It's
can't
like,
translate.
it's like the idea that intonations can give you like more information than the
I could just tell you like like this, like he's talking like, like I would also like it's about like there are many ways to present it.
And there's words that mean totally different depending on how and when they're said. Like,
Right?
in Hebrew, "Magia lecha" can mean like 10 different things depending on how it's said.
They say, just building off that whole intonation idea, like ancient humans or whatever, when we didn't have language, our ability to communicate with each other bordered on something psychic, because like we had to rely on, body language and being able to read the expressions of another for me. So, who knows? Maybe like before we actually developed language, you could tell when an animal got hurt just based on a certain scream or yell, right? Maybe we were picking up the feelings of our primate peers through their tones and shit. Like we can tell it.
You're probably right.
Who was the comedian that said no doesn't mean no? People say no means no, like no it doesn't. Who said that?
I don't remember. It sounds familiar. I feel like I remember that bit, but I don't know.
Yeah, he sound that funny.
Sorry?
He doesn't sound that funny.
Oh, Bill Burr.
Bill Burr, yeah.
Yeah, let's see if we got the clip. Let's see. No, that's bullshit. Okay. Okay, that was just a commercial.
I saw Bill Burr in Hermosa Beach at the Comedy and Magic store, and he made a really nasty Holocaust joke, and so I started going, boo, boo, and I didn't stop. I just was like a retard saying boo, and so he's like, sir, I cannot match your energy. I can't stop you. You'll have to stop. He's like, security. So the security stands me up. And he goes, I'll give you one last chance, sir. He goes, if you're respectful, I'll let you stay. I said, okay, fine. So then as soon as he started going again, I started going, boo, boo. And so then they really like manhandled me. And he's like, wait, before we throw him out, what do you do for a living, sir? And I was like, well, I used to work up the street at dealer.com. It was this like automotive advertising company. And I was like, but they just let me go. So I'm unemployed. He goes, get him the fuck out of here. It was funny. But the point is, Bill Burr is married to a Trump derangement syndrome retard who at a UFC fight took a photo of him and made like a really nasty remark. So, you know, you may think he's funny, but I just see a hateful Irishman.
He has like a real funny skit about
Yeah, he's a funny guy. He's one of my favorites.
I like Irish.
Wait,
I think so.
did you see that Seinfeld has a new $150 million deal with Paramount?
For what?
Him and Kramer, Cosmo Kramer, aka Richard Lewis. What's Kramer's name?
Michael Richards.
Michael Richards. So he has I think it was like $110 million deal with Paramount now, which is now owned by, I think, Rupert Murdoch's son after he merged it with the Viacom CEO, whatever her name was, or is, Sharon Redstone. And that is, her father is, you know, one of the rich, I mean, he's dead now, but, you know, he was and is a historical legacy in terms of media and broadcasting and all that. It's called Outlook Amusements. Yeah, but Sherry Redstone and whatever Mr. Redstone's first name was. But that whole thing was crazy because he ended up like philandering some young girl, and at the end she tried to get the estate. Like, it was a big drama. And that was with Les Moonves and the whole Me Too movement. So Hollywood, you know, is, I mean, it is what it is. You know, it's about sex, drugs, media, etc.
All the entertaining stuff, right?
Yeah, debauchery.
It's kind of hard to
Yo, what do
avoid
you
it.
think about what's happening to P. Diddy right now?
Man, I cannot see. Today I read that Gloria Elridge, who did the Bill Cosby thing and all these other big Me Too trials, like there's a list like at least 10 deep, 100 long now of women who claim to have been raped and abused and videotaped by Diddy and his associates.
Imagine how you feel sitting in that cell. You probably can't even remember some of the women you fucked.
I don't think he was much of a drug, like I know he claims to be like a hardcore drug user, but he's really just an angry, hate-filled person. So what I heard yesterday on this app was is that they had a 2-bottle system where one bottle was just for the girls and they would lace that one, and then the men would drink like, you know, a non-laced drink. But he was lacing his tequila, and then the men would drink the Ciroc, so they knew which one had the drugs in it.
Nice. It's good view, isn't it?
Just a second. Roddy, if you hear other people in the room, take a look on the topic. Yeah, take a look at the topic. Go.
It's a new director of non-amateur film to not describe. BBC.
He's absolutely serious supporters. You know, Roddy,
This year more egregious thing to give immunity to rural workers that participated in the 7th of October.
Yeah.
This was like, I read that and I'm like, are we like in an Orwellian world right now? Like, what is going on right now?
Yes. Yeah. Although I should correct you, Roddy. Yes, we are in a dystopia, and yes, it was foretold. But Orwell was not really as bright as some of the other dystopian futurists. Yeah. I would say, notably, Aldous Huxley. I think we're way more in his world than in Orwell. But Orwell was totally right about the propaganda. That guy knew.
What's shocking about this to you guys, though? Honestly, this is the same shit that happened to Nelson Mandela.
Well, you know, maybe the character of Diddy will set him free, but I doubt it.
I'm not saying that, you know, what you call it. I'm not making a moral judgment about Hamas right now, but it seems like, you know, the world is pretty convinced. Like, just being honest.
Diddy is ruined in the social media court of justice. He has been destroyed, as well as all his associates. Usher, even Bieber. They keep playing countless videos of Bieber singing to Jesus. Like, Bieber was raped, abused, and intimidated to the highest extent possible.
How you know Bieber was raped?
It's evident. You can see it in the videos by the way that Diddy touches him and the way that Bieber lowers his head in utter shame and disgust and terror. I mean, Diddy was abusing Bieber as well as Usher and others.
In what way was he abusing them? What did he do to them?
So there's reports that Bieber was running around naked at a Diddy white party, after party, and Kim Kardashian's sister wrote, yeah, Bieber was running around naked. So they were there while they were abusing an underage sex prostitute child, which, Bieber was a confused young man, and now he's married to actually Alec Baldwin's daughter, and Baldwin is now being tried civilly for the murder of that poor woman during that movie set.
He already got off for that.
No, civil.
I'm surprised he beat that fucking
Yeah,
case.
I know. He already got off. Like, what
No, he didn't. What don't you understand, Mr. Lawyer? He won criminally, just like OJ. Now he's getting sued civilly.
Diddy, like, you got there from Bieber's wife.
Because Diddy's being prosecuted criminally, and then he will have the civil trials. He will be bankrupted completely. He's going to lose $1 billion. He's done. He is now fodder for lawyers like you who are blood vampires who have licenses to steal.
Y'all parasiting, especially when niggas is getting divorced.
Yeah, real estate and marriages. Those are that's the big bread and butter of a vampire. I'm just being facetious. I don't actually have anything against lawyers, but I do know people that have things against lawyers.
I was hoping that your metaphor would cohere, but I was like, would vampires have an interest in families and real estate?
Well, transaction. I'm talking about sucking the juice from the titty transaction.
No, attorneys are parasitic, but they're parasitic because if the attorneys don't siphon off the life force from the litigants that genuinely are pissed off about shit, they hold on to that life force and start hurting the people they want.
You are in the midichlorian industrial complex, sir. But you haven't studied Zohar. Just wait till you get to the next level, and then we see you in your final form.
I follow the rules, unlike these heathen Jews that just study any
But the Menachem Schneerson said you can study Zohar now. You don't have to wait till 40.
Well, fortunately, I don't trust him because he led a pretty heretical movement.
Well, Haredi. I mean, it's a party. Welcome to the black party and the white party. It's a penguin party.
Yo, you know what I found out the other day? You know what I found out the other day?
Yes.
And y'all know me. So, I heard a dude by the name of Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, I've heard of Rav Shneur Zalman, but Shneur Zalman, what was his last name?
Of Liadi. Some shit. I could be
No, you're talking about Lizansk.
His name was. Hold on, let me see.
Did you hear this from what's his name from the other rabbi?
Jewish rabbis often have acronyms for their name that just start with
Yeah, bro, I know exactly what I'm talking about, bro. I said it kind of made me fucked up, but it's Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi. Word.
Liadi. But what is the quote from him that you want to share with us? Because it's there's a million rabbis. What's your point?
It's not a quote, bro. It's not a quote. I heard he was like a founder of a sect of rabbinism, and he had big beef with Napoleon.
Could be.
Yeah. But the big thing is rabbis who declare that they're the Mashiach. Those are the historical outliers, and there's lots of them.
Yeah, I grew up next to one of them niggas, the Schmearson guy.
It's Schneerson with an N, not an M.
Ish, what is the difference between Schmearson and Schmutz?
I don't know, bro. So wait, hold on, Mixed, you a worshiper of Schneerson?
No, I do not worship.
You're talking about Menachem Schneerson, the Rebbe.
Yeah, that's who he's talking about.
So he a rabbi?
He inherited a Yiddishkeit dynasty, and he created one of the most successful American Jewish movements in human history, where he gave $1 to everybody and said a little thing. He was a podcaster. You can go on YouTube, and I mean, this guy's legacy in Jewish history is never going away, and he's considered a very holy person. And many Jews consider him to be the Messiah, 100%. Like, they believe Menachem Schneerson is the Messiah.
Right. The majority of Jews believe him to be dead.
When he died,
Yeah, he did.
I tell you, bro, I never saw so many. You know the big hats, like the Bush type hats?
Yeah.
Like not the regular hat. Yo, bro, I never saw so many of those in my life, bro.
Those are very expensive hats. I mean, you're talking thousands of dollars.
Bro, they had, you know they had the big Jews out there for real, cause bro,
How big were they?
what you mean how big? I ain't measured them shits.
Like fat?
Ish, can you believe that Europeans came all the
Like a hat that cups your head and it looked like bear skin or like some sort of like wool from an animal.
It is from an animal.
Yeah.
I think it's beaver.
It's a fox, isn't it?
I thought it was beaver, but I don't know.
Is it beaver? You know, could you imagine? Oh, it is beaver. Could you imagine? You know, in Chicago where I live, you know, if you go to the beach, there are some untouched beaches here, and it's unbelievable to think that Europeans were on canoes and they're in the forest hunting beavers, and then they sell the pelts so they could be sold back in Europe. And you're
Do you know who
talking
made their family? Do you know who made their millions in America selling beaver pelts?
who?
John Jacob Astor. The Astor.
Oh, the Astor family did.
Yeah.
Guys, what are you talking about?
We're talking about fur.
Yeah.
We're talking about warmth.
It's working.
Al Jazeera is a propaganda distribution network based in, what is it, Qatar, or is it UAE?
Yeah, I really wonder how it's gonna play out for Israel.
It's gonna play out great. Who's the better fighter, Israel or people who don't know how to fight? The Israelis. I've been to Tel Aviv. All you got to do is go jogging on the beach, and you realize that you're dealing with an extremely intense group of people who will not lose.
Adrian, check this out, right? Netanyahu said it. He said it only takes 3 minutes to fly over Israel by helicopter. 3 minutes.
Wow.
Okay? So,
Wow.
check this out. Y'all got the Iron Dome.
That's not true.
According to Netanyahu. According to Netanyahu. Don't tell me it's not true. He said it.
גלם خیلی تنگ شده. لانا, just wait.
Honey, why? Just listen to me.
Why is it that you think if you talk in a high-pitched voice, we should listen?
Lano, what do you want to say to us?
Yo, what's up with this person?
I was talking about the topic. You say, why is it so close to Al Jazeera? Look at my
Please be respectful and make room for new speakers.
Why are you copying my voice?
Because it's such a funny way to talk.
دلم برر خیلی تنگ شده.
I'm not Persian.
Oh, take عربی حبیبتی.
No, I'm not Arabic.
I don't know. It just feels hard to take you seriously because it feels like you're trying to talk to me like I'm an infant.
NKZ, listen, you're talking about something serious. Just look at my picture.
Sorry, I shouldn't have been doing it.
Just look at my picture.
No, I've seen that before. Like this demure, high-pitched, feminine.
This is just now.
Weird.
This is just
I
now.
honestly sounded like Adrian when he comes on here trolling, but I heard them talk like too close to each
Who
other.
is this guy? Start abusing me on the chat. Too high thing. Who is this? Motherfucker, I'm supporting Israel. Why you acting like that? This is abusing.
I support Israel too. Just not this regime.
None of my business. So,
Yo, what you be like? So poetic. Like super poetic. If a far leftist, like, you know, kind of like the far right guy who shot Rabin,
Wait, I gotta interrupt you, Ish. Breaking news. Justin Bieber has filmed an exclusive tell-all with Dr. Jordan Peterson talking about his sexual rape and abuse at the hands of Diddy. Wow.
Oh, they're coming for him.
He also did an exclusive with Candace Owens. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Bro, you're lying. Bro, you're lying. Bro, you're lying. Bro, you're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. Post the fuck.
How many times are you gonna say lying? And who is this, Ish? You don't even sound like yourself.
Bro, post the link. Post the link. Post the link.
You think I'm lying? I'm not creating fake news. It's on X right now.
Bro, post the link.
Okay, let me get the link. Hold on. I'm getting the link. Hold on.
No, I don't shout. Guys, don't shout, please. I have a.
We're sorry. We don't mean to disturb your delicate sensibilities.
Oh, I have a.
Yo. Yeah, that's done. Yep. Uh-oh. That's not good.
So yeah, we had an interesting conversation last night. I don't know if anybody caught that.
Roti?
What was that?
You don't want to put me roti?
What's the...
Roti, you don't remember when you came to my room first? You and the other guy in Palestine, you fight, okay? Do you remember?
Mixetti, you there? Yeah, what's up?
I don't know.
I'm gonna follow you real quick. I want to send you something. I don't want to interrupt.
Guys,
Not to worry.
you might be aware that I take great interest not just in the military dimension, but also in the diplomatic, political dimension. I'm fairly confident Israel will win the war. I'm less confident Israel will win the peace. I do consider them both essential. So basically,
Yeah, but Mike, it's a slogan. It's a cliche. The War and Peace Report, the Peace and War Report. There's only escalation and de-escalation of violence. Violence is the continuity. Look, talk to Ish. He's made people victims of his. He's robbed people. Ish, would you want to share what it's like when you victimize somebody? Tell everybody what it's like when you victimize.
Promote that, brother. Like, what are you talking about?
Post the link. I'm gonna post the link to Ish's mugshot and his arrest record. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. I got the link. Hold on.
Yo, why Mike bubbles and shit? Like, come on, bro.
What do you mean bubbles? Ain't no booty boy here. Ain't no fucking Diddy. You want to go shopping, Ish? You want to go shopping? Can I take you shopping? Let's go shopping.
Yo, what's up with this fucking cockroach?
so it's
Cockroach. The only cockroach in this room who has an arrest record that I know of is you.
Get down, motherfucker.
yeah, when you're looking at this issue, I'm just like coming at it from just my own ideas. I posted a link here to
Disingenuous little bitch. Got
I
it.
did hear
the
hi.
strategy.
Ruin your credibility, son.
Really, I learned this stuff from.
Hi from the down.
But anyways, this guy, his name is Thomas P.M. Barnett.
Thomas, listen. This Indian guy.
Somebody says Lano crackhead. Like, nobody wants to hear you. Nobody cares about your voice. I don't find it cute. I want to hear Mike, not you. Jesus.
Jeff definitely has a sweet ass.
She's Ashkenazi.
Oh, Khazarian mummy milkers.
But only Rabbi can get a piece of that ass.
No, I'm getting my piece of the mummy milkers.
Well, not from that minority.
You getting ass. I'm getting the Khazarian mummy milkers. That's different.
You like me?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'll do another
Don't kick me, Diego, because I can tell you're gonna have one of the funniest rooms of the week. This room is gold.
It's been confirmed, John, that it is one of the best-selling books in Korea.
I want to go back to the Khazarian titty milk. Can we talk about the Khazarian titty milk? Because that to me is a new expression. I like that expression.
Yes, we have the debate.
Sexual deviance, so maybe that's why the Koreans, maybe they're not so different.
Bring up this Talmud Chacham. Bring up Ishmael. You know, can anyone tell me Ishmael's brother's name in the Bible? I bet you none of you Jew haters can.
Oh, no, Isaac.
What was it?
You don't know Ishmael's brother? John, the debate here is who is the greatest of all time, Kat Dennings or Abby Shapiro? His half a brother.
I don't know who Kat Ennings is or Abby Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro's sister or the girl from...
Oh, she did have some big knockers. I saw those knockers once. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, but see, big knockers, you need a pretty face and a great ass because
His sister got a pair of Pelosi's.
there's so many perfect tens. You know, that's three elements. That's the face, the tits, and the ass. But women now disfigure their face and their titties and their ass. And look at Kim Kardashian. That is so fake. Every photo is touched up. It's fucked up. Her ass has implants. When you see implants in a titty or an ass and they're shaking and you see like this like solid moving brick and then you see flesh just dangling on the titty, you're like, ooh, ew, brother, ew.
Oh, brother. What's that, brother? Oh.
I'm telling you, I love those Khazarian mummy milkers.
You like Barbara Streisand?
Who the hell she?
You don't know Barbara
I
Streisand?
had a dream that Michael Jackson took my butt last night.
Or you must Google Wait, Diego, what is the point you're trying to prove with this picture? That she has nice titties?
Everybody knows she has nice titties. I'm just trying to say, I think she's the GOAT. I think she beats Kat Dennings. You think this Jewish girl has the nicest titties in the world? The nicest Khazarian milkers, as they call them. Her titties are freaking.
See, I gotta tell you, you know, I know Jewish titties. Those are not Khazarian titties. Those are Eastern European titties. Eastern European women have huge bosoms. No, it's true. Eastern European women historically have the biggest titties. The further west you go is the smaller the titty. If you go to France or Spain, it's always small titty. You go to Russia, you go to Ukraine, you're talking huge titty. It's something in the genetics of the huge titty people. They're Eastern European. That's not Khazarian. Khazar is a European thing about where, you know, they were encroached on by a Muslim army and a Christian army, and they were like, yo, fuck you both. We trolling you. We Jew now. Okay? That's the truth of the earth, and it's going to set you free and make you wealthy. That's the truth.
People with big titties usually have a bad ass.
No, we like the full package.
But then when it's a Khazarian.
If I have to choose between one or the other, I'm definitely going for the butt cheeks.
Exactly.
Yeah, booty 9 out of 10 times.
Implants has a, big ass.
See, a booty is just big titties, you know, and they're the better titties. They're the, you know, because it's riding you. It's directly in contact with your penis. A titty grouping is not in contact with your penis unless she's giving you a titty job and a blow job. Those are big titties. But if you can find the perfect ratio, which is velocity equals distance over time, which is 3 variables, face, titty, and ass.
You have to fix your fucking microphone. I'm begging you.
No, I think
turn
this
off
is
your
why,
Wi-Fi.
like this way underestimating. She's an Ashkenazi Jew, right? She'll never have an ass. It's just impossible. No matter how
No, I can show you multiple porn stars, Jewish porn stars that work in major pornography, and they are generally the perfect triumvirate or triangular positioning. 3 perfect variables.
They will never get big.
Listen, we have to determine beauty standards by pornography. I hope you guys are totally okay with that, because you can't do beauty standards unless you use the most famous pornographers, you know, as the standard, because there's perfect 10s in pornography, and that's why they're the biggest grossing porn stars. I mean, Alexis Texas for a hot minute was the most amazing thing in pornography, and then there's so many examples of perfect ratios in pornography.
Did she die recently?
No, she's just getting old, like what every woman does. They just get old.
I think, what's her name? That porn star that had that cameo in Boogie Nights. She's got an okay derriere. What's her name? Nina Hartley. She's Jewish, right?
Is Linda Lovelace passed away? I'm not into porn at all.
Bella Danger is probably the perfect example of a Jewish girl in porn. A Bella Danger.
Is she Jewish?
Yeah, she's Jewish.
She's very perky. Yeah. Perky personality. That's like perfect.
Also, Layla London. Layla London is another perfect 10 Jewish example. Layla London.
Layla London. Never heard of her.
Yeah, you're gonna want to check her out. I think she's one of the, I think we could create a list of the top performing female porn stars and very isolate what it is as a perfect 10, and then base all beauty standards off of that, and know that no one can get to that level because it's impossible. It's like it's a destiny thing.
Yeah, but you guys are self-promoting. Remember when you had that guy? He had like a name that like sounded like some other famous person's name. And then he got in trouble for like raping some girls. Do you remember that guy? He was Jewish.
Was it the T-shirt guy who was doing business with Ye?
No, I can't remember.
What was that company called? American
I'm not
Apparel?
I haven't freshened up on my porn star.
They warned me about going to Hollywood. I went to Hollywood for 5 years, and they told me don't go. They just stay in the East, because they're godless out there. And I got to tell you, they're not godless out there. It's just collected pools of psychopaths, and Diddy is the ringleader of the whole soiree and the pate.
Oh, come on, you can't be the leader.
No, he has Jewish associates, and it's Spooner Libby, the guy who went against.
Oh, there you go.
That's the guy in one of the videos where Scooter Libby or whatever is on the side in this recording studio. I saw the video.
Let me ask you a question. How did you guys arrange for him to share a cell with Sam Bankman-Fried?
Get the
That's what
fuck.
I wanna know.
No, he's not. No, what do you mean? Sam Bankman-Fried is in a different prison facility. Diddy's in the worst
Dude,
facility.
Google it right now. Google it. They're prison cellmates.
Really?
Yes, dude. Google it.
All right.
Big deal.
They just moved them like yesterday to that section.
That's right.
Did you see that the girl in the Sam Bankman-Fried lawsuit, she just gave up $11 billion and she's serving 2 years? They sentenced her yesterday. That little nasty dwarf
Oh, she
with the
lost money
glasses.
too?
She had to surrender everything and any savings she had. She has to file bankruptcy, and she got 2 years in jail.
Wow.
Yeah, she has to surrender everything. And that little rat, that little runt, with the slimy glasses, that is a movie unto itself. That could be a huge movie. Her and Sam Bankman-Fried, that would be a Disney fucking $1 billion film. That would be it would be the funniest movie you've ever seen. To be like two autistic people whose like bifocals keep fogging up all the time. And they're giving blowjobs and fucking doing blow and Adderall. It would be the funniest movie ever.
Who's gonna play them though?
It would be new actors. I don't think any pre-existing actors could pull them off because they have to be very young.
Do you think we could have Jesse Eisenberg reprise his role? Just like for
He
cameo
would
and-
he would be like the Federal Reserve chairman or something, pissed about Sam Bankman-Fried, and then, or not pissed, but like involved in some kind of scam. Because Bitcoin is definitely a CIA cryptocurrency, 100%.
You think so?
I don't think. I 100% know. At this point, it's obvious that the government invested in cryptocurrency because no one has any money but the government, and no one invested in Bitcoin to develop it. That Nakatomi Satoshi Red Dragon thing is just a CIA cryptogram. It's just a joke. It's all U.S. government Bitcoin.
Rabbi Yosef ben Mizrahi.
I love Ben Shapiro's sister's titties. She has the biggest Khazarian mommy milkers, which I will motorboat every single day from dawn till dusk. I will squeeze her tits and make her lactate, and I will drink every single milk droplet. Baruch Hashem al Kados.
Is that's that Persian rabbi, right?
Yeah, that's right.
What's that guy's name? Because he's very controversial. People hate that guy.
He's based. I fucking respect him.
What's his name though? Because I see him come up all the time.
Let me type in the chat.
Oh, it's Rabbi Mizrahi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mizrahi. Yeah. Those are Persian.
This is Kat Dennings for anyone that doesn't know. She was on that coffee shop.
Oh yeah, dude. These are great questions. Holy shit, you're right. I'm going with her. Do you think she has implants though? Because that television show with the waitresses, like they're so huge. They have to be implants,
No, because
right?
they were huge when she was in that movie, the Knocked Up movie or whatever.
Well, it's such a hard choice, but I think I'm gonna go for Ben Shapiro's sister. Because I think Ben Shapiro's sister's probably more natural than this chick from the waitressing show.
Yeah, I think so too. Also, she's conservative. So, she's a good mom.
You know, I was engaged to a chick that looks just like Ben Shapiro's sister, and I got to tell you, like, every woman still experiences hair loss. Not every woman, but there are perfect tens out there that are so genetically primed that they don't lose their hair, they maintain their skin, their tits and their ass and their face are perfect till they're like 60 years old, 65 years old. And that requires incredible maintenance and upkeep. It's very rare, very rare. It's like one in at least a million.
Wait, hold on. Hey, Rahel, I will suck the pink out of your lips. Bring your sweet ass over here.
But this is the other thing about physical beauty. It may not match sexual performance. So you may get a very lazy lover who's not essentially a gymnast. And you know, if you can't do actual gymnastics or do yoga, you know, in the bed, well then it's like making love to a toy doll, you know, who can't move. So it's a combination of action and then the three variables.
I was in the Matrix. I missed that whole thing.
It's four variables. It's action multiplied by face, ass, and titties. You can make sex into a mathematical equation.
I like it when you talk about what is an orgasm? You get this whole
Yeah, the orgasm. So all this religious esoteric stuff about Mashiach is all just a psychological metaphor for an orgasm. All the stuff about the pineal gland and your third eye is all just a metaphor for Hindu philosophy or chakras. And that again is Kundalini, which is all metaphor. If you're a Christian, the metaphor is the Holy Spirit. But even in other religions, you see reference to Holy Spirit. I know, you think it's retarded, but this is because you're retarded, and thus you don't understand. No, this is comparative this is comparative religion. People do this. It's in a matrix. You can take all the world's religions, all the major concepts, line them up in a grid, and it's all the same thing, just different words. That's what's happening. You know, he doesn't like hearing that because some people think it's blasphemous, but that's because they're not multilingual. It's all multi psychological or multi esoteric. It's obvious.
educate yourself, Rabbi.
He's gone. He can't take listening to this blasphemy because he's so hard Greek Orthodox Christian. But even Greek Orthodox Christianity has their own occult demonic side, and every major religion recognizes good and evil. So in Greek Orthodox, you can see it in the Romanian black robed priests. And you can go on YouTube and look at Megaloskimos, which is a hymnal to basically the goat or the devil. Greek Orthodox Christians are involved in Satanism. Within every religious group, there are people who go right and people who go left. Faggots who suck dick and worship Baal, the goat, and evil and rape children, and good knights of courage and warriors who represent Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit and the light of God. It's in every religion, good and evil, throughout the world. And there's 4, 5, or 15 major religions on the planet.
Is that why what's his name, wrote the satanic verses?
Are you talking about the bald-headed guy?
Salman Rushdie.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, Salman Rushdie.
Yes.
Well, he was trying to blaspheme Islam and piss them the fuck off. I never read the book, so I don't even know what's in it, but
Is that what you're talking about, David?
Yeah. If he's saying that there's like satanic stuff in every religion.
Say, and when I say satanic, I mean evil, like bad people who like Bachi boys in Afghanistan. If you don't think that those Bachi, warlords fucking young boys dressed up as women, if you don't think that's pure raw evil, and then you have faggots on this app saying, if we didn't withdraw from Afghanistan, women would be in universities and taking leadership roles in the Afghan government. It's like, oh, okay, so let's let all the Americans go over there to fight Sharia, and they will die fighting it. Like, people in this country are so fucking brainwashed. They have no warrior position at all. They are just political partisans.
I found a very easy way to get through to people to manipulate them through religion, and that also people get very frustrated. It's frustrating for us trying to explain to somebody something they don't understand, but you have to sort of listen sometimes. If you listen, you might learn something, right? And it's just outside of one's capacity to understand. It's just truth just sitting there.
Well, you can't have the thought or the concept if you don't know the words. And many thoughts and concepts are extenuated words. It's not just one word. It could be like 15 words to really grasp a concept. Everything is a code. Our words is a program, and it's a transcript that we transmit to each other through audio on this app.
How does the word Christos resonate to you?
It's crystal. That's the base root name of Christ. It's crystal, which means clear, transparency, truth. Truth is the greatest virtue. There is no greater virtue of character than truth. And you can only speak truth. And if you have Christos, or you have, baptism and laying on of hands, or the gospel, you can be a transparent person and say what you feel and feel what you say. And that's why Donald Trump is probably not with the devil, because he says what he feels and feels what he says. He's transparent. He's crystal clear in his communication. I mean, look at your PTR, Ramon. I mean, honestly, you are maybe one of the funniest trolls on this app, and you barely even say anything. Your profile, I don't even know how many profiles you've had, and I'm not your coach, but I am a hypnotist.
Coach did.
That's right. Coach did.
So I gotta point out your PTR, Ramon. Like, that is actually great artwork. I mean, that's the thing that people can't recognize artwork, and this to me is the biggest mind fuck that I could ever share with any of you, is that we are all fighting each other over fiat artwork, because a 5, a 1, a 10, a 20, a 50, a 100, that's all art, and you fail to realize that banks are like illusions. They're actually just communication networks. Federal Reserve is a communications corporation. The White House is the chief communication distributor. We are living in more of a word currency or a word industrial complex than we are living in a banking industrial complex. And once
What does it mean when I get like my bank account set down?
that means that you are fucked. That means you're fucked. That means censorship. That means,
So use Clubhouse.
well, what I'm trying to say is, if you get debanked, and I know people that have been debanked many, many times because they're involved in different businesses, which are very aggressive, businesses, because they may circumvent the law, and banks don't want to do business with you. But you can always find other ways to bank. That's the thing, is it's a dance. You get debanked here, you go bank there. You get debanked there, you go bank there. You just keep jumping from bank to bank to bank to bank to bank. It's crazy, but people do a bank game, and they're making millions of dollars a year.
Yeah, but right, Matsuri and the banks didn't want to finance because it was cannabis.
Banks don't want to bank with cannabis sellers or cannabis adjacent businesses.
Yeah. So he found another bank that actually gave him a loan, but he had to go to bank to bank to bank.
You can go overseas, but in my opinion, it's very risky to go overseas to bank. If you go bank in Panama City, I know people that do international banking because they're in like very aggressive internet billing corporations. It's called the negative billing option or the continuity product where you charge 99 cents to get a product to ship to you and then you get rebilled 87.99 5 days later. So that money, well, I've worked in advertising. So if you're an advertising network, you can escape legal culpability for that type of aggressive billing because you're just an ad network. And if a lot of these people get sued. Exactly. The middleman, the broker evades, and this is what the whole internet legal theory is about the platform and not being responsible for the content.
Do you ever wish that you were born the hero or the leader?
No, I've read that true wisdom is to come to understand that whatever your lot in life is and whatever your position is, it's from the disposer. So the way that the situation is now for you is the way that it was exactly meant to be. And when you have that reconciliation, you will be happy. I mean, the happiness index is really what's happening. You have to look at your happiness index and know if you're really happy.
Why am I really happy when my head is between the bosom of a woman like the one who's here?
Because it's super symmetry. We love beauty, we love aesthetic, we love art, we love nature because bosoms are nature. It's the raw form, it's the milk of the universe.
What I need.
Well, that's why Princessia is you're flying her out to Laguna Beach next Friday for a 3-day love affair.
Are you down, Luna?
Yeah. Sounds great.
I detected a little bit of hesitation there, Diego. You may not have a willing participant. She may just like your anti-Jewish position.
What would you say, Diego?
I think I can make it happen. All right, let me ask McDad. Who's the goat?
Listen, we need to ask Mixed, if you violate one of the 10 commandments, what are the repercussions of having a sexual liaison with Princessia and flying her out to Laguna Beach for 3 days? Now, Diego, we're not trying to entrap you, and I'm not
Why
gonna.
is that a violation of the 10 Commandments?
What do you mean? That's adultery.
No, not if I make her my wife.
Oh, I see. You want to do an arranged marriage for 72 hours? They do that in the Philippines and Muslim countries. Maybe you have to convert to Islam, deconvert from radical anti-Zionism, Jew hate, neo-Nazism. Yeah, that's right. Deconvert from neo-Nazism and become a Muslim extremist for just 72 hours. And Princessia, you'll also have to renounce your Christian faith and become an Islamic extremist for 72 hours to bang each other and fulfill your clubhouse most wild sexual desires in Laguna Beach at a beautiful hotel overlooking at the beach. And Diego does not have a wife or kids that I've never seen them. So Diego, you can send me my $1,000. This will be my get. Thank you very much.
Coach Dittman, let me ask you a question. What would be the first thing you would do as president? You have 3 minutes.
I would lead a class on national television and a presidential communication, and I would teach everybody how to do yoga and meditate for an hour on national television, and then I would renounce my presidency and I would appoint Mixed president of the United States. Now, Mixed, what would you do if you were president of the United States?
Yes, let's go, Mixed. That's actually a good idea. Why doesn't the president host yoga lessons on the front lawn?
Trump held.
Donald Trump has been very clear. He said that you have a limited amount of energy in your body, and he doesn't do exercise because he wants to pay a little fat.
Doesn't he realize that?
I didn't even make that up. That's exactly what he said.
Well, that's him being funny because if you exercise, I exercise, I go to the gym, I lift weights, and you can detect that when you lift weights and you do all this cardiovascular exercise, it's like a battery. You're actually putting energy into your storage system, and the next day you have more energy from the previous day's exercise movements. It's just that is a fact, and anybody who doesn't think that doesn't understand physics, because when you lift weights, you're moving thousands of pounds of metal over like a 30-minute period, And that is built up energy potential in your muscular central nervous system. If you don't think that, I mean, Diego, I've seen you physically. I mean, Princessa, you may be a little disappointed when you start riding your hubby bubby here, but he's got a big dad bod going. Sorry, Princessa, you may want to fly out to Chicago and I'll show you what a real man is.
Wait a second. Everything still works, okay? I'm still, yes, it's true. Maybe I'm turning a few extra pounds, but everything's working. All cylinders are fine.
Listen, that's because you're in love with the neo-Nazis' rhetoric and you haven't seen the real meat and potatoes. Hate to break it to you, baby.
I sent her a video so you could see what I look like.
It's very sexy.
The guy hasn't sat out in the sun in 5 years. He has a dad bod from 1996. What are you talking about?
Adrian, why are you such a hater?
Because, baby, I need love too, and I think you're a hot number 10. Ow.
Please don't talk to me like that.
It's okay. I know we'll never work out. You're not interested. You're just interested in neo-Nazis, not biracial, Yiddishkeit, patrilineal Jews. That's okay. That's a choice. But, Larry David in Chicago is always available if things don't work out with Diego.
No, that's not what it is, dude. Some women like to be made love to by a passionate race of people. They don't want.
You mean passionate love from a racist is a turn on?
Can I just ask, am I the only person that whenever they hear someone say the phrase "make love," they want to punch someone in the face?
That's what it is.
Must be a Jewish.
No, that's a dumb phrase. Make love.
It's a good phrase.
But you strike me as a person that doesn't hit a woman a lot. You have to.
I mean, I'll eat whatever's there.
But you know what I mean?
You didn't use the right pickup line.
Diego, you make it seem like you're some Spanish lover from far, like you're Don Quixote or something. Princesa, I've seen the man at a gas station on a random Saturday, okay? You're not going to enjoy kissing Diego, I assure you. His wife doesn't even want to hold his hand in the car. His wife stood at attention and the children were like robots. They didn't say anything. Daddy Diego has his children and wife living in fear. Why do you think he can arrange a love affair with you? Because his wife and children are in the dark about his true activities. Who comes on Clown House 7 days a week and talks about Jews all day long? The guy is a secret closet neo-Nazi. Every day on here.
Lips are very, very nice. He has very beautiful lips. Like, what are you talking about? And he has beautiful.
He's got like hairs sticking out of random places on his face. He doesn't even have a beard. He can't even shave his face. Tell her the truth, Diego. You're a dad bod guy.
This is true. I have developed with that, but you know that's very in right now.
Whatever.
Very popular.
It's sexy.
Very popular, but I'll get rid of it.
Well, Diego, are you really going to follow through with this and fly out Princessia and make passionate love to her for 72 hours and look at it?
You have no idea. Whoa. I'm a person. I'm a man of my word.
Whoa. He's gonna fly her out, take her to the hotel.
Damn. Well, Mazel Tov and L'chaim. I just want to. Big said what we wanted to know is if Diego commits adultery and violates what number is that in the 10 Commandments?
Adultery?
He has multiple wives.
Well, that's a good question. It's somewhere between 6 and 8, maybe 6
7.
and 9.
It's the 7th. 7's the magic number. Let's just go with 7. Diego, what are the repercussions for violating this mitzvah?
We don't have a rule in Catholicism against this.
I feel like it's 8. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 8. It's 8.
You see in Catholicism, 2 become 1, and then 2 can become 1 again.
Whoa.
What is the crucifix? Is there gender assignment in the crucifix? You guys are Christian and you guys don't even know what the crucifix means? The lateral means the woman, the horizontal means the woman, the lateral means the man. That's the phallus intersecting with the woman laying down.
That's a complicated.
It's theology. Deal with
It's not a take. It's basically Kabbalion. This is ancient mystery school teaching where in the Kabbalion, gender is considered one of the divine aspects of, God. So in the moon and the sun, there's a gender there too. So the universe demonstrates the principle of gender.
Like a screw and a nut.
Yeah, bust a nut. I mean, the Ein Sof in Kabbalah means limitless light, and that's technically the white cum of an orgasm.
Just first of all, definitely not. But it's not pronounced Ayin Sof. It's Ain Sof.
Potato, tomato, subjective, objective, subjective. Rabbana Shalom.
What is? I don't think you're saying it right. Are you trying to say I?
No.
Because I am not ain.
Yeah, because it's Ain Sof. Ain Sof.
Okay, let's test his pronunciation. Can you tell me the name of the military group that Israel's fighting in South Lebanon right now?
Hezbollah.
I guess he's not one of the Jujus.
He said it. He said it right.
But I don't. Guys, I'm not saying that I can pronounce Arabic or Lebanese.
No, but because that your people butcher these letters and they go.
Okay, that's wonderful that you don't like how we use our language.
It's not your language. You're saying the letter wrong.
Wonderful. I'm sure you have a great language, and I'm sure it's better than mine. But my language sounds like this. Okay? Ain Sof. Ain means is not Sof.
Migzad, you're a liar. You are a liar, Migzad. You're a liar. You claim you don't study Zohar, but you know how to pronunciate all the secret names perfectly. You're such a liar.
I know how to read Hebrew.
Well, you're lying. You're a Zoharist. You're a Zoharist. We know that you are a Kabbalah. You're a Makugala. You're a Kabbalist.
Makubal. You can say Makubal. Don't worry. But no, I'm not. Ain Sof means the aspect of God of nothing else.
Like your PTR, a void, a darkness.
Right. It's sort of like, it feels to me like a I haven't studied it, so I don't know exactly what it's saying, but it feels like a theological marker to claim a theological explanation or like divine origin behind, I'm pretty sure, the philosophical idea of true nothingness.
Yes.
If you were to find true nothingness, guess what? You found God.
Well, Migzad, do you know what in mathematics they call a radius? I'm sure you know what the difference between a diameter and a radius. Do you know in Makugala what they call a radius?
Right, but it sounds all inverted. It sounds like
No, hold on. Migzad, what is a radius called in Jewish esotericism? It's called the Tzimtzum. The Tzimtzum. I know you know it. I know you know what that is. It's the Tzimtzum. It's the radius.
Okay. Here's how to pronounce this one. Imagine it's spelled like this. T-Z-U-M.
Isn't that a Hebrew word for transgender?
No, it's the radius. It's the radius in the circle, which is considered the thread of light in darkness. So the Torah is a transmission through these like imaginary esoteric tubes that flow down from Shemayim. If you study wisdom, you will be sucking from the tit of the universe.
Also, the word in Hebrew for radius is, you guessed it, radius.
Oh. Really?
I hate it when they do that, by the way.
Migzad, are you a Mishling?
I don't know what Michelin is.
Half Jewish?
Patrilineal.
No, it's not Patrick.
What are you? Ashkenazi? Sephardic? What are you?
I'm a Kohen.
Migzad, I hate to disappoint you, but I'm also a Kohen as well.
Nope, your mom's not Jewish.
No, that's not true. My grandmother is a Kohen.
That doesn't matter.
Well, I may not get a full-time job at the temple, but maybe I can get a part-time job?
No, only Kohen have a Kohen.
Well, we're going to start a union and we're going to sue you.
Bottom line, both of you guys will be renters till the day you die.
Renters?
Renters?
You can't own this land, right?
No, we are landlords.
No, you misunderstand.
Adrian, what about you?
Okay, Diego, this is where you have to read like the whole Torah. There are special Levite cities.
Ooh, Levite cities. These sound like economic opportunity zones.
They actually are economic opportunities.
Oh my God, Rabboni Shaloim.
Wait, so you can own land. So is New York one of those?
No. Okay, Diego, you gotta understand. There is no real land ownership under Jewish law. The land belongs to God, and there are tenants for the 12 regions. Within each like portion or city, they had these little Levite cities, like a portion out of like, I don't know, 100-acre bit. There'd be like 1 square acre that'd be the city region, and then that would be where the Levites lived. And you're right, they were renting, but when like a little bit different. I don't think they'd really be renting. I'm pretty sure they would have ownership of apartments in like buildings because it'd be a bit more urban. They wouldn't control the land. They wouldn't be allowed to develop anything. You know, it would be a communal kind of thing.
So many experts on this app. Oh my God.
So this is basically like a tax scheme, right?
Yeah.
Wow, unbelievable.
Now, let me draw a metaphor here. Suppose I have a chessboard, and I have my knights, I have my rooks, I have my bishops. You guys are the bishops, or are you kind of more like the kings?
We are the bishops.
You are the bishops, so you are like expendable.
Yeah, we die. What do you mean?
But you can travel all across the board, and you have like special powers.
Oh, a little bit, right. We're not, like, indigenous to any particular region of Israel, all of the 12 different sectors, right? Dan would be in Dan, Naphtali would be in Naphtali region, Gad would be in Gad area, Asher, Menashe, Ephraim.
This boy's in the Kugala.
All of these places would be roughly, like, 12 separate states within the federation of the state of Israel, and my people, the Kohanim, they're a subset of the Levites. The Levites have no portion of the land, and they serve as ministers, and they maintain, because remember, the Torah was written by the head Levite Moses, and he gifted one to the Levites and a copy to all the other tribes. But the Levites were like the keepers of the book that the Levites produced. So the Levites would teach the Torah, and they also were judges there, and the Kohanim, that is not descendants of Moses. They're from the same tribe of Moses, but they descend from Moses' older brother Aaron.
Mixad, I hate to interrupt, but look at the word Levite.
I don't think you do, because you do it so often.
I know, but I hate to do it, but you know, the word Levite is like levee. But what is a levee? A levee is a dam that holds the waters back. So in terms of spiritual knowledge, the Levites are the ones who contain and hold back the waters from the people.
Okay, so the Levites are kind of like a civil servant class designed within Judaism.
They are the water reclamation district. They tax everybody. They're the taxing authority.
They don't have the right to land. They are roughly collecting, not exactly.
Told you, they're just a bunch of tax collectors.
No, wait a minute. If I'm wronged by a Jew, I want Migzed to be my guy because he can sue and fight against another Jew on my behalf.
I agree. He is a useful yid.
Actually, can't even help you with that. But
No, he's in the factoring business. Diego, tell him about your business loans you got problems with.
it's true, it could help you.
I'm always open for a good loan.
Oh no, I help people that are in bad loans, but whatever, it doesn't matter. The Levites are the civil servant class, and they have scribes, judges often. They study Torah, become rabbis, and they serve the Jewish people, and they do collect. They collect truma and meiser, which are the produce of the land, and all of that goes to. They don't really collect it because the people bring it. They come on Aliyah Regel when they come to the temple to show off the produce they have from their land. They all come together. They learn each other's techniques. They give them sacrifices at our temple. I perform the sacrifices. We're like the barbecue family. And then
So wait, Mixed, I gotta ask you something. What year do you think this is?
today,
Yeah, what year is it? No. We don't need the Julian calendar. We want your calendar, sir.
Next Thursday it's Rosh Hashanah, you guys.
It's like year 5,276, or what is it exactly? I can't remember now.
No, we're later than that.
5675. What year is it again?
Was the Mayan calendar?
Well, that's my point. Is do you think in terms of 5675, or do you think in terms of 2024? I mean, which side of the calendar are you on?
It's 5784.
See, 5784, ladies and gentlemen. Put this man in a straitjacket. It's not the year 5784. Come on, man. It's not 5784. That would mean we were in fucking spaceships. We'd be in fucking flying through the outer space around the fucking sun at 38,000 miles per hour. You're crazy.
In approximately 2 weeks, it will be 5785.
You hear that? Call the psychiatrist, put him in a straitjacket, and get him on lithium. It's not going to be 5785. It's going to be 2025. You're crazy.
Judy's one of the most important numbers.
No, Adrian, in 2 weeks, it will still be 2024.
What are you going to do this year for Yom Kippur? That's all I want to know. How are you going to make atonement?
There's no atonement. There's no temple.
Who are you going to apologize to? And who are you going to humble yourself to? Who's going to make a sacrifice and say, I'm sorry? I said something I shouldn't have said to you, and I apologize. Have you ever melted somebody's heart with an apology? I bet you haven't.
Hold on, we need to get confirmation here. Because that is the truth. There's no atonement.
No.
Randy, you've been disqualified. How so? Because the Kohen priest class just said there is atonement.
No, they can do atonement outside, on their porch. They can open up the grill barbecues and do atonement there, I guess. But
No, they take the etrog, they take the lulav, they take the frond leaves from the palm tree. They do all kinds of magic things.
Habibi, you need a sacrifice for atonement. That's done at the temple. Unfortunately, the temple is no more. I mean, I get my
Oh my God. Oh my God. Wait, I hate to interrupt you, Big Zed. I hate to interrupt you. Rabbi, that PTR is next level, Rabbi. That's next level.
Rabbi has a nice PTR.
That is honestly the funniest PTR I've seen yet.
I can see you on the picture.
Mixed, hold on. You can save it for the future.
Silence, everybody. That's not Mixed speaking. Holy fuck. I'm trying to hear Mixed. Go ahead, Mixed.
What I thought Mixed.
It was a simple information question. You referenced an atonement sacrifice. My question is, which sacrifice are you characterizing as an atonement sacrifice?
Every year there's an atonement sacrifice. It's on Yom Kippur.
Ah, okay. You meant the Yom Kippur sacrifice. I got it.
It's in the book of Zechariah.
It has to be done at the temple. You can't use your balcony barbecue grill for it. It has to be at the temple. Now the temple is destroyed because the prophet Daniel told us after Hamashiach comes, then there will be no more temple and there will be no more sacrifice. Daniel chapter 9, verse 25 through 27.
This is all just psychological, esoteric reference, though, to being kind and good and sacrificing the evil on behalf of the whole blessed, holy, ancient one.
The prophet Isaiah also spoke about the end of sacrifice. They will be sacrificing with their lips, it says.
Exactly.
If there's no end and no beginning, Randy, then in some sense these things are bound to occur again.
It's happening right now. Just stop thinking and you will become one with the universe. Ding!
That's right. I think it was Isaiah 57, if I'm not mistaken.
Go ahead.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's Isaiah 57. I'm not a Protestant. I don't memorize the Bible.
So, is there evil in Greek Orthodoxy, Rabbi? Do you know, have you ever heard of really bad stories in the Greek Orthodoxy of raping young boys for Moloch, the evil goat Baphomet? Have you seen any black-robed Greek Orthodox Christians do any evil over the years? What say ye?
Well, we have heretical bishops, but we excommunicate them. Not Moloch.
So are you what they call a hemog or a holy illuminated man of God?
I wouldn't say I am, although some people would say I am.
What say ye, McZed? You'll be a priest in the coming temple. Are you a hemog?
First, he has to prove that he's a Levite.
That's true. Can you prove your Levitical descendancy? Do you have the names of your forefathers?
They definitely can't. No, you can't. You can't prove you're a Levite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what do you say, McZed? Can't you defend your position? You're a lawyer and a great debater. You've been in all these, what are
Yeah,
they?
you do understand that the Jews don't want to build a third temple because of that, right?
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, you have to be a descendant of the Levites to be a priest. They can't verify whether you are a Levite or not.
Don't tase me, bro. Don't tase me, bro.
Yeah,
Where is Andrew Meyer? Who is Andrew Meyer?
Can you kick this nigger?
I'm sorry, are you expositing great truth and wisdom to the earth? I mean, Rabbi, come on, man.
Just unable conversation, dude.
Yeah, kick him. I'm also.
It's fun, but we just can't have a discussion.
He's so fucking.
Yeah, you need to be a Levite to be a priest. So,
Hi, Keegan.
so if you create a mutual fund, so that you build the third temple, it will be the Jews, the actual Jews, not those Jews. It will be the Jews who actually tell you, no, you're not allowed to build a temple.
That was awesome.
Let me get my fingers on that butt, because I ain't gonna do it. We're not buzzing. Going through. This one is for leave quiet. I'm not reading. Yeah, I'm going through. Y'all have fun. If a math question back on something done. Raise or sequence that brings the thing forward and backward is called what? Say that again. Say it again.
Alright, hold on. We gotta mute up because Luke Boss, you're getting your feedback. Let's mute up so we can hear her.
This is not, fifth graders don't know this shit. Is it onomatopoeia? A cipher. A word, a phrase, or sequence that reads the same forward and backward is called what? Cipher. Who that can Google her face? Cipher. Cannot see. What's a
Kevin's saying it's a cipher.
No, it's a called.
والله برودة بس كثير برافو هاي برودة
شفت من الفلوس عشان يلعب كده ما شوف شقه في نيجي بلا برك تقول برا برك صوت يسكت يعني فتت خلوه انتك يعني ولا ولا يعني كمان انت دار jag hade tjej som figur 8 och han kom väl ner för att köpa så 100% bro 100% bro يعني bram لكن على فوسنا برودر وصون نبقى som nu till exempel varje tjejgrupp det finns alltid en ful fet eller يعني فتت varför de jag vet varför de